Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect and those in this gospel, broad lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is Akim Mahaloya, coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. Titled The Plagues of Egypt. Starting in Exodus the 7th chapter, ending in Exodus the 10th chapter. When you go through those particular respective chapters, it goes into the plagues that the Most High Yahweh put on the land of Egypt, because when Moses and Aaron went to petition before Pharaoh to let our people go, Pharaoh hardened his heart. So the Most High brought the plague of locusts, the flies, the boils, turned the rivers into blood, stench, okay, the frogs, the hell, okay, the killing of livestock, the darkness. All these plagues befall ancient Egypt, okay, before the children of Israel was delivered. Now, when you read the scriptures in 2nd Esdras, the scriptures say that I will smite Egypt with plagues as before. So when you look at the plagues of Babylon the Great, which is modern day Egypt, okay, we've had, what the hell is this guy doing, man? Stupid, man. This what? Fucking retarded ass, man. Anyway, when you look at the scripture in 2nd Esdras, the scripture said I would smite Egypt with plagues as before. So the hell, okay, the locusts, like I want to say 2 years ago, the plague of locusts just descended on Las Vegas out of the blue. Okay, it was to the point people was walking down the strip, and these plagues of locusts were just in hotels. They was on people, and people was like, "What the fuck," you know? Because the east wind, whatever wind brought them forth, they just started. They wasn't really attacking, but it came out of nowhere. You know, a name for Las Vegas is what they call Sin City. Okay, and what would you call a place Sin City if it was righteous? Okay, then you got the blood turning into, the water's turning into blood. You've had several accounts of that in different parts of the world. I don't recall if it happened in America yet. It may have happened, but I can't really recall it. Then also you had the blood moons. You know, like the blood moons and the solar eclipses, the lunar eclipses, etc. And also you had a brother from, I keep forgetting where the brother is from. Every time I butcher the city and state, the brother, he be getting on us like, man, that ain't where I'm from. But the brother, Yawanathan, Adawan, Ibad, Adawan, he got a long name. But basically he stated that last week he saw a blood moon just pop up out the blue. Okay, he said it was him and his rib, and I think he was doing like some gig work. And all of a sudden, the blood moon just came out of nowhere. And the scriptures tell you these are the signs of the times, and that the hell of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai was going to put on this planet Earth because of the wickedness. Okay, not just Babylon, but the scriptures say that judgment should come upon it on all sides because of the wickedness, man. Because you got to understand, Babylon the Great has influenced the whole known world. Okay, through the idiocracy of America, in their freaking philosophies and the way they live their debaucherous lifestyles, you can very well see why the Most High is going to bring a halt to this man's kingdom. And it's going down quick because yesterday, or I want to say Friday, you had what was it, SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, okay, which pretty much went under. Now with the feds, with this hike in interest rates, what happens is they sell off these stocks, and a lot of times they buy out these smaller banks because I believe it's like a lot of smaller banks under that pavilion, so to speak. And what happens is, instead of calling it a bailout, it's a buyout. So therefore they raise interest rates, and then they buy out these particular banks, and then they bail them out. But see, that was a huge blow to Babylon the Great, because if they didn't so-called buy out, then a lot of these smaller banks are going to fail, because we went through the list sort of yesterday in a lesson that a lot of these smaller banks are failing. You know, but like places like JP Morgan, Chase, fucking Bank of America, when those banks start to fail, then that's a wrap, man. And it's going to take some time for it to hit there. But regardless of it, they ended their 12-week pilot program, I want to say, which was started back in late November or early December. It ended this month, which is roughly a 3-month test trial period of testing the CBDC currencies, the digital currencies. And now they pretty much got their plan in wraps. So now they're just going to start rolling out this digital currency, or this UBI. They're just going to start to roll it out gradually. And before you know it, you're going to wake up and everything is going to be digital. They did it in India. They did it in I want to say, what's the name of that Arab place? I don't know if it's Afghanistan, but I know for a fact they did it out there in India and a few other places they've done it, that these places are pretty much digital now, which is a setup for the MOTB, the mark of the beast, man, the micro C-hip. And we've been telling you, Jake Stat, man, that this is going to be a thing that's going to hit the whole world, man. And you're going to have to make a choice on whether you want to receive that or you're going to pretty much be ostracized, living off the grid and possibly being killed. Because that's an actual plague of Babylon the Great. The banking and the markets collapsing. Okay, the weather. You know, the freaking, this guy, Bill Gates, he released over 1 million genetically modified mosquitoes. In the last couple of years, man, the ecosystem of bugs have just been totally just out of whack, man. Okay, so Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is definitely putting a halt to Babylon the Great, and we're going to see more plagues. Okay, you're going to start seeing abnormal plagues. I mean, like plagues of darkness, plagues of apparitions, okay, murdering, killing, death. All these things are going to come before the great day of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because it tells you that in the book of Joel that it says all these things, or it says before the great day, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the moon should be as red, okay, and the sun should not give his light, roughly paraphrasing it, okay, going into this nuclear World War III, because World War III is going to come, regardless of what you people believe. And I believe that the collapse of these global supply systems, I believe that that's going to lead the nations to go to war, because the scriptures say that the nations were mad, man. So, hey, man, we're living in those times. But let me see a couple of precepts here. I'm at my destination, actually, so this wasn't meant to be a long lesson. But if brother can give me the book of 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, start at verses like 12, and it goes into the plagues of Egypt. Because, I mean, shit, man, we're in them. You know, we're going to be in the plagues until Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai makes his return to gather the hopeful elect. So you micro C-hip deniers, hey, buckle up, because, hey, in very deeds, your very livelihoods are getting ready to be put to the test. Your faith is getting ready to be tried. And, hey, like we said, that this offense of not taking that micro C-hip is going to be punishable by death, because they're talking about bringing back public execution, the firing squads, the gas chamber, the guillotine, or the guillotine, which is the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, those that was beheaded for the testimony and the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So you're going to have a certain amount of brothers that's going to be beheaded for this truth, because they rejected the MOTB, because it's written, so it's going to happen. All right. GMS we got next. Max Shalom, brother. Let me get it real quick, pull it up. 2nd Esdras 15, and I'm going to start at verses 12. And it reads here. It says, in Egypt should mourn, and the foundation thereof should be smitten with the plague and the punishment that the Most High should bring upon it. And they that till the ground should mourn, for that seed should fell through the blasting and hell, and with the fearful consolation, right? You know, chariots, and then you got these nuclear winters. Okay, you got pretty much inclement weather. Like right now, we pretty much in the spring season. Since the Passover season, we're in the spring season, but still cold outside. It's literally like 35 degrees, man. And then in the summertime, you got scorching heat. Then, you know, once the actual spring falls through, then you're going to have tornadoes. You're going to have hailstorms. Sometimes you have a lot of fires, because when you have that wind to moisture index that's above normal, a lot of times that start a lot of fire because of the oxygen in the atmosphere. That's why a lot of times they tell people don't be grilling on an extra windy day, because a lot of time those wind trends can bring fires, especially if you live like near a lot of wood structures, you know. But and it reads, let me go down. And it says, they that till the ground, which is your farmer, should mourn. It says, for their seed shall fall through with the blasting in hell, and with the fearful consolation. But woe to the world and them that dwell therein, woe is destruction. It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? Because the coming civil unrest, which, you know, the brothers went into it earlier, you're going to have mobs of people that's against mobs of people. You know, like we used to teach that you're going to have race wars, Jake versus Esau. And I mean, you're going to have skirmishes of race wars. You know, you're going to have peaks of rioting and so forth among racial tensions. But this is going to be a collective. You know what I'm saying? One neighborhood against another. It's going to be a war against the have and the have-nots. Okay, what can we do to sustain our group? Like when you watch the movie The Last of Us, they showed you had what they call the Fireflies, and then you had the Federal, which is another word of saying FEMA. Fireflies was basically a group of militias that formed together, and they started to police the known cities after they took out the Federal, you know, for resources and so forth. So you're going to have groups of militias, gangs, you know, family members and so forth like that. It's going to get real bloody out here in the coming days. And it says here, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings and princes. And the course of that action to stand in that power, right? Because they're not going to give a damn about the government. You know, they're not going to really care about the government. They're like, well, fuck the government. They failed us. People are dying from the juice. You know, people going to be like, nah, we're not dealing with this anymore. We're going to take matters into our own hands, because when we believed in the government, they didn't do anything to bail us out, but instead they put us in further slavery. Like a lot of people was lining up yesterday to get their money out of this bank. I believe they had like over so many billions of dollars in withdrawals, and caused the bank to go under because, I mean, it plummeted. And when you have these bank runs, which people go in large numbers to get their money out the bank is only liable to hold up to 10% of income in there. And they only liable to pay you up to 10% of your bonds or whatsoever through the FDIC insurance, which allots you up to $250,000. So if you had $250 million in the bank and it go under, you only able to get up to $250,000, and that's over a course of time, because the bank may not have that in its vaults particularly, because they're trying to phase out cash. Okay, and I remember in the X-Files a couple of years ago, they stated that the markets or the banks would collapse on a Friday evening, and by Monday it would be a different world. So we're slowly seeing the gradualism and the changes of these particular infrastructures, man. You know, and it says here, and a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, for because of their pride the city should be troubled, and the houses should be destroyed, and men should be afraid. Yep, because it's going to be chaotic out here, man. All right, and the man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So this is the coming time. This technocracy, a lot of people are going to say, well, look, we're not going to fall of getting microchips put in our hands. A lot of people are going to take matters into their own hands, and then you're going to have those of the people that's well off in the society. They're going to fall for the government, or they're going to fall for the victual, so to speak, because they want to live their ordinary lives. You know, a lot of millionaires, a lot of big-time investors, a lot of stockbrokers, a lot of them are going to succumb to the woes of the society because they're going to actually feed into it. Versus the common folk, a lot of them are not going to take the C-hip. And there's going to be a lot of Edomites that's going to reject that C-hip, man. Versus you Jakes, you just going to take it because, you know, you believe in Babylon. Scriptures tell you, woe to them that put their trust in Egypt. And that's going to be the majority of our people, you so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American, man. You're going to put your faith in Babylon, and the Lord is going to destroy you. All right? Second Esdras. Yeah, brothers are bringing it out, man. I ain't going to be able to go into all of these, but I'll go into a few of them before I shut it down. This is the book of Ezekiel 7 and 5. The brother Bayan Yasharallah. Shalom, brother. Thus says Yahweh, thus says the Lord Yahweh, and evil and only evil, behold, is come. That's right. It says the end is come, the end is come. It waited, watch it for thee, behold, it is come. That's right. And we in the time, man. That's why the Lord put emphasis on the word, the end. Okay, because the end is nigh. And we're prophesying about it. So Lord's will, real soon, Akim. I'm going to get one more precept. This is the book of Second Esdras, the 16th chapter. And I'm going to start at verses 19. It says, behold, from Thahawam Lab, it says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a mimic. Okay, famine, tribulation, plague. You know, the famine, the coming collapse of the global supply systems. Like they've been burning down a lot of these processes. They was burning down 3 processing plants a day for the last couple of years or so since when the pandemic hit. And then now they're burning down in the train derailments. The chemicals are airborne. These are all plagues, man, that we're reading about in the scriptures. All right. Revelation 18 and 8. It says, therefore her plague shall come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she should be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh that judges her. That's right, brother. All these things are going to start happening simultaneously to the point that the Most High is going to take this place out. So one day, like I always say, we're going to wake up and it's going to be a total different America, man. All right, so just keep the faith, stay prayed up, fast, whatever you got to do. Keep the name of the Lord in your mouth, man. And hey, Lord's will, we up out of this bitch real soon, brothers, man. We're tired, but we're out. And we need new bodies, and we just need a new lifeline, man, because time is running out here. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Kakwadash. And with that, Shalom and a Bible Ball. Shalom.